Officials in Lyon County, Iowa are revealing more tonight about the impact of last week's burglary of the courthouse. The county's auditor, IT director, assessor, and recorder say nothing in their offices was compromised by that burglary. That's not the case in the county treasurer's office, where officials revealed today that 45 driver's licenses that had been renewed and were either expired or soon to expire were taken, along with more than $3,800 in checks. The Lyon County Attorney's Office says that some paperwork in their office may have been viewed or taken as well, while the Clerk of Court's office says there's no evidence of any access to confidential records there, but they're still checking to see if any older physical documents were impacted.